My man does a great job of pulling him in. Val Kilmer does a great job of fucking with this dude's mind where he pulls him into the prison system. And he totally corrupts like this average, good, doing the things by the book. And this guy gets sucked into prison politics.
Jesus
And he's got a baby, and he's got a wife on the outside. And it just was a great film. And so when I heard about Val Kilmer, I was like, damn.
Yeah, generational loss.
Yeah, but you know, I think we're gonna do that was more of a celebration. I think we're celebrating Val Kilmer. I don't want to take it there this morning, right? We all have this thing on a high note, and I want to thank everybody joining us. You know, we're on episode number 5. You know, this is cool to me because it's become more of a regular thing, and I like how excited I get when it's pod time. I'm excited to see.
Actually, yeah, it's always like, all right, I'm ready for this. Like, you know, I want to see what we're going to talk about this week.
Yeah, it feels good. So, you know, thank you to the audience. Thank you to everybody that listens, everybody that watches, that sends back feedback. I appreciate it all. We appreciate it all. We're here today live. Nick is here. Arllan's here. I'm here. I'm your host, D. Yeah, man, I'm feeling pretty pumped about today. You know where I wanted to kind of kick it off was like, you were at FD.
Yep, Formula Drift Long Beach.
Yeah, man, how was that?
Honestly, Formula Drift Long Beach, I've been a long time goer, whether I was working with a team or just going as like, you know, as a spectator or going with certain partners. It's always been a good time. If there's any Formula Drift I don't want to miss, it's usually Long Beach.
It's crazy in Long Beach.
Like, every year since I moved down here, I think I've been to every Formula Drift Long Beach.
How long has it been going
on? Formula Drift Long Beach has been going on forever, since like 2017, I think.
Oh, wow.
But, so like, yeah, I've never missed Formula Drift Long Beach. Of course, being in California, you know, it's our local one, and then Irwindale was our second one, which I always made it to Irwindale, but rest in peace, Irwindale, now that it's gone. But it was always a great time. It's a great experience. I feel like because it's the only track that it's a street that's a racetrack.
It is sick.
So
it's sick.
It's often joked that with a lot of the drivers, like a lot of them wish it was the last round.
Right.
Mainly being that almost everybody wrecks at Long Beach, no matter who you are. You could be some no-name rookie, or you could be Daigo Sato.
Right.
He's a legend, and look, he wrecked out in the first round.
Yeah.
And it's just a reminder that Long Beach is just that unforgiving of a circuit, but that's what also
it's unpredictable.
That's what also gives it its energy, though.
For sure.
And like the amount of people that come out, and like being in like, you know, Long Beach itself, and just like all the people that come together, just creates a different atmosphere.
Yeah.
Especially that you're not at a racetrack. That's like the big thing.
I know, you're outside, dude.
You're outside. You're in the middle of downtown Long Beach. Like, you get out of Formula Drift, like FD Long Beach, you're right next to the Pike.
Yeah.
Go grab a beer, you know, go hang out with the homies and stuff like that. Like, it's always a good experience. Parking is just chalked, but
I didn't get to experience that part of it because I went down. I went 2023. Mm-hmm. It was my first time going. I had never been, heard about it. I didn't know how long it was going on. Mm-hmm. I got invited. Shout out Toyota Dave. He invited me out, so I was joining Larry Chen and 2 other great homies, and we were at the Toyota GR booth, and it was my first time, so I kind of bypassed the parking experience. But I remember it being pretty packed out. Like, when I walked up day number 1, lines were out the door. It was already crazy. But you know what was cool about it, because you were talking about like it's unpredictable and crashes and shit. Day 2, middle of the day, out of nowhere, it started raining.
Yeah, I remember that. I was there that day.
It started raining, bro. And I was like, wow. And these guys were still out there performing. So like hats off to the drivers and the competitors, you know, because you don't really know what you're walking into. And they put up a hell of a performance, man. I don't think I ever, like, after being there in my first time in 23 and this year, right? 24 obviously was awesome, and this year, you never hear any negative feedback.
No,
I haven't heard any.
So the thing for me with Formula Drift, and it's like coming from like pro racing, like with IMSA and stuff like that, WeatherTech, SRO, like all these other series that I've worked with so far and currently work with, is that Formula Drift from their side of things with all the road racing and wheel-to-wheel gets looked at almost in a negative light because it's based on a judging and scoring system versus like a result system, like, you know, like a placement system. Because you work through the rounds in Formula Drift.
Right.
But what I always tell those guys back is you got to look at it this way. You guys have been around for how long? And your engagement with spectators and fan to driver interaction is absolutely garbage. Formula Drift does it better than anyone else where
They do.
They get the most eyes on their series. They know how to make a good show for the crowd.
Right.
They know how to make it fun for spectators to come out and like experience the drifting, all the vendors that are involved, and like being able to provide this kind of environment for the people.
Do you think that's because it's tangible? Because I know, like, I mean, the cars come right off the track, like the track off a hot track through like the vendors, right?
Yep.
And they go back to like their tent. Do you think it's because it's tangible for the audience and they're like right there in it?
Well, so IMSA's the same way. So like when you're in a paddock for IMSA, like we
Right.
have Grand Prix coming up, you'll see the cars driving through like because they have to. There's no other place for them to go. The same at the racetrack. Like you could walk amongst like the team haulers and stuff like that and see it. It's just that I feel like because with Formula Drift, it feels very grassroots. I mean, there are teams now spending upwards of like $1 million a year doing it. That's anything but grassroots.
Right.
But you still have guys who come out to Formula Drift that are literally just with like a single car trailer with canopies and floor jacks and stuff like that. They don't have like a giant 55-foot trailer,
Right.
which most of the major guys do, like Osbo, Field,
remember seeing that.
Odie and them. But you'll see guys that just like the newcomers who have on a lower budget, it looks pretty tangible. Like
Yeah.
in that aspect. Like the cars to fan disconnect isn't that. It's more of, I feel like the drivers have a certain energy. There's more of them in FD. I've seen drivers like that in IMSA, and they do really well social media wise. Like, we have Dai Yoshihara now who's driving TCR and Honda.
Right.
And why is he really good with the crowd? Because of what he did in Formula Drift.
For sure.
But it's
No, that's
also
a good
bringing
point.
eyes in. Chelsea's now in Mustang Challenge, Formula Drift driver. Everyone knows Chelsea Denofa. He actually bought my team's old Mustangs
What?
at Mustang Challenge.
Okay.
And he's racing our Mustangs. And now it's
Whoa.
bringing more interaction to that. So that's a good thing that IMSA's starting to do that now.
Right.
But it's stuff they missed out on for so long.
I like it, man. I think whatever the show is doing, I think it's good for the culture. It's good for the community. It that tangible component is tight. I mean, it blew my mind that when I was there dolo by myself because I didn't really know what I was getting into, and I honestly I couldn't. 2 days wasn't enough
Right?
time for like how much shit that I wanted to do between watching the event, hitting all the vendors. By then the car had already gone to SEMA, so it was like cool to see like some of my partners in the mix out there and like even how they operate because it still was very brand new to me because I went to SEMA. I'm sorry, it was 24. I think I was there.
I think it might have been 24.
Yeah, because I think it's 24. Damn, I'm all messed up. It was 24 because
Yeah, you're right. It was 24.
it was
'cause
last year.
I actually remember wearing
SEMA was. I was at
my
SEMA
gear
23
that day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It was last year. So I was just coming off that hill, the SEMA hill. So it's falling into another dope experience like that, and so that's why. It's probably also why I had such a weird taste in my mouth at the last pod. About like events and stuff because that shit was so ill.
Yeah.
That shit was so ill. And
Formula Drift just does it really well. That's
Bro.
the thing. Like Formula Drift to me is its own event. It always it is its own event, but like the type of energy that the type of event puts out,
Yep.
nothing else can compare.
Yeah. No, I had no complaints, bro. No complaints. I mean, the food maybe could have been better. You know what I mean? But,
That's always a challenge for the venues though, like that's always going to be a thing, right? Like
I don't get it though, man. People love to eat. I feel like especially with Long Beach. I mean, I'm not gonna sit on this long, but I just invite all those great, local food vendors, invite them into the mix. They gotta have a great fucking street truck scene.
oh yeah.
But yeah, outside of the food, no complaints. No complaints. That was a lot of fun.
Oh yeah.
We was talking about social media earlier, and I know you wanted to talk about like, I don't know if it's social media ethics and shit like that, or if it's just what is it like Instagram for dummies?
I guess so.
Like,
I mean,
what was it that you wanted to kind of touch on?
I mean, like the thing with me and social media is like, it's weird because now I'm transitioning into the stage where, in my automotive, involvement, this whole thing, industry, whatever we want to call it, community, I'm now being more focused on social media on the aspect of promoting the businesses that I support and the guys that I work with.
Right.
Like Counter Space Garage is like the biggest one of it all.
Right.
And it's like bringing more awareness for that. and more exposure to that company to realize and show people like, hey, we do dope shit.
Yeah.
You know, like we do stuff that you don't realize that actually helps you out with some of the cars that like you guys are buying.
Right.
Like to that kind of level. And it's like, you know, I'm not really in it. Like it's kind of hypocritical for me to say I'm not in it for the clout, because you kind of have to be.
There's a little bit of clout
Like
involved.
if I'm gonna be like completely 100% transparent, you have to be in it. You have to be in it to want to stand out to the rest of the crowd in some way.
Yeah.
You know, like you got to be larger than life in some ways.
Yeah.
But I want to be larger than life by being myself.
I think that part is important.
Yeah.
Because you can be that without losing yourself.
Yep. And like I don't want to I don't need to put on a fake agenda or anything like that, or any type of certain like stigma, or like I'm just trying to be me.
Right.
And it's like I'll foster and I'll create a community, and a certain crowd will watch for that reason.
So is your gripe more or less that you've been seeing a lot of people faking the funk? Or
Oh
some
yeah,
shit?
entirely. Faking the funk, and then also people who, like, well, dude, especially with racing, like the amount of people that get into racing, like, and it's like, okay,
Here we go.
I love F1. Don't get me wrong, cool as shit.
Yeah.
And it's like I'm not calling out any F1 creators, I swear, but like there are some people like who are F1 fans who all of a sudden think they're racing experts.
Oh yeah, F1's trendy right now.
And it's like, because it's super
trendy.
trendy. Like, oh my God, bro, like Lewis went to Ferrari. Like, he's going to be like the best thing ever. Look where they're at now. Folded. You look stupid trying to like say that Lewis going to Ferrari was going to help him. Shout out to my boy Max Verstappen for killing him on
But he got the bag though.
Yep.
Lewis got the bag.
Lewis got the bag, don't get me wrong. He got the swagger. You know, he got the bag. He's definitely a fan favorite.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to discredit that the man's a 7-time world champion. But it's also just like, personally for me, like the move to Ferrari made a lot of sense, like business-wise.
Right.
But like loyalty to Petro House guys is like a huge thing for me. And I had a little bit more respect for him when he was in Mercedes versus when he just jumped ship to Ferrari. But I get it. It's Ferrari. It's like, come on, man. Like, who wouldn't want to rock the Ferrari gear? Like, that stuff looks clean.
Yeah.
You
I
know?
mean, without getting deep into it, I think they gave him a little more. I think it wasn't as tight of a. He wasn't on a tight leash. I think he was at a tight leash over at Benz.
Nah, I could see that.
But on the social media side, I feel like it's funny. I was watching a doc the other day, and it took me back. It's fucking the internet been around fucking since like the late '90s. You know what I mean? AOL, fucking Netscape, and all that shit.
What is that, like DHS internet where you have to like dial up and stuff like that?
Dude,
I remember like all the '90s sounds are popping into my head right now.
Oh my God, yeah.
The Windows XP. Da, 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 da.
So this shit's been around for a minute. I'm thankful that I've been around like long enough that there was no internet, and there is. So I feel you on folks losing themselves to the internet. You know where that's one thing. Like I don't really know how to help folks other than to be like, yo, just be yourself. If folks struggle with the idea of being themselves, I really can't help you. You know what I mean? Like you may need to like log off and do some social
and like
shit.
people need to disconnect from that stuff because
It's toxic.
like, so this is coming from my generation. So like growing up, like, you know, I'm a '98 kid. Now it shows because I shaved my face.
God damn.
Now it shows because I shaved my face. But being a '98 kid, you know, I grew up and I remember floppy disks. I remember VHS tapes. I remember like Game Boys and all that stuff before iPads and all that stuff came around. But I also saw when all the iPhones and everything were releasing, all the iPads, and then the rise of social media.
Oh, yeah.
Like, my MySpace page, I remember still had Smack That by Eminem and Akon.
Hey,
That was playing on the profile.
I high-key was excited when you could put
Your top 8?
No, that for sure. I was running that hella, like, I was politicking. It was all political. The top 8 was political.
Yep.
No, but I was excited when Instagram allowed you to put songs in your
Oh,
profile.
yeah, I love
took
that
me
too.
back. But with social media, like, the thing that I see, like, a lot is that people lose themselves. It's funny because
Oh, yeah.
I feel like when you fake who you are, I don't care if you're doing it for clout, you're doing it for whatever, you're doing it for some sort of personal gain. But when you do that, it's a slippery slope.
Oh, yeah,
You
extremely.
start doing things that you
Wouldn't really do.
100%, right? But now this fictitious
Yeah.
idea or this person, this character you created, I see it all the time. People crash out. They crash out, and I'm like, and then why I also say I'm thankful, and the audience may follow me rambling, but like, people start to do things and post things that are going to hurt you.
Yep.
If you gonna be talking a lot of shit online, please don't like, accidentally fucking post your address online.
Oh yeah.
Right. Stop posting your videos in front of your crib. Have some sort of privacy. Right. I personally don't think it's cool to be posting money because I don't like people looking at that. I don't need to prove to anybody I got money. So stacks and bundles, I feel like will get you robbed.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Why would you wear a Rolex in Skid Row?
You know what I mean? Or at least announce that you are, and then you geotagged it, right? So now I know where to find you. I'm not saying I do this kind of stuff if anybody is listening. You know what I mean? But
I'm gonna look at your story right now. Where's this guy at?
But I'm talking about these are types of things that we think of like it's just general baby oversight. But this is how people get got.
Oh yeah.
And then they'll be like, 100%. How did that happen? Right? I was just driving down. How did someone pull up on me and all of a sudden now like we're in the middle of a Grand Theft Auto. Like I'm getting fucking I'm getting carjacked. So, there's those things. I think social etiquette, people just are so, like, absent-minded to it.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and there's other things, too, bro. Like, I'm a big fan. I've spent 42 years of my life, knock on wood somewhere, bro, where, like, I have avoided bracelets. And I think a lot of it comes down to, like, keep your mouth shut. You know what I mean? Like, even when I was a kid getting in trouble with my parents, I didn't tell them any information that they didn't need to know that they may or may not know right now. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, don't forfeit anything. And so, like, I think people jump on social media, they start posting shit.
Oh, yeah. And people wonder why they get caught for that shit. And it's just like, it's because you're posting all this crap on social media.
Yeah. Like, I'm not really targeting nobody, but, like, posting a video of you fucking doing a pull in broad daylight on the 5 freeway and saying, I'm in Tijuana. Bro, you ain't fooling nobody.
I see the exit for Rosecrans right there.
Straight up, right? Like, come on. And they smarter than that.
Yep.
Right? You're like the, millionth person to say that today? Like,
like, look at Japan. Like, when I was out there for Tokyo Auto Salon, when Sarah hosted the whole Bad Seki meet, Japanese police actually were tracking, like, the Instagram posts. And that's how they came out and they shut down the first location.
I believe it. I nerd out on this kind of stuff. I watch a lot of docs. There are definitely divisions. There's definitely funding.
They are watching
all day.
All day.
This is what they do. There's task force for this. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm like, I'm not saying don't post yourself not having fun. That's like the whole point. We all do this to have fun.
Oh, yeah.
But like, tell on yourself a little less. You know what I mean? Like, and then, man, pick and choose your poison. You know what I mean? You can't have it all. So if you're gonna post yourself reckless driving or this, that, and the third, even if you're just really popping your hood a whole lot and just telling the world about your engine mods.
Yep.
But then don't go post brandishing guns and don't go post. I really believe in that stuff, and I know a lot of homies are passionate about, and you can be. I'm not talking about your rights to bear, but I'm talking about don't tell everybody
what you got.
The entire gun case, right?
Oh, you're giving out a grocery list, and it's just like. Well, I mean, that's another thing, too. So, like, obviously, I come from a lot of the 2A gun community stuff. Like, I've grown up with that my whole life.
Yeah, how do you feel about that, man?
And, like, honestly, I used to post a lot when I would go shooting.
I see you sitting on the top of your car.
Yeah, with the M40, with the M40A3, the sniper rifle. But, I mean, like, that was kind of like... So, I took a step back from it because I didn't want people to have a certain connotation about me.
Right.
And then... I went back to injecting it in small amounts because it is a part of my identity,
Right.
Like, firearms are never going to leave my life.
For sure.
Like, it's always going to be a part of me. And it's just like, if people don't like me for that, it's just like, okay, like, then you're fine, you're free to go,
Yep.
But it's like, for me, it's just like, it's a part of my identity. It's my right to believe in bear arms.
Yep.
My right to protect my property, my people, my loved ones, et cetera.
Yep.
And then, so like, I started interjecting it back a little bit, but back, like, the big problem I have with it, with people posting it, is like, of course, if you're like a gun tube creator or whatever, that makes sense. You're doing your thing. But there are guys, I think we call them YNs now, that are like,
yeah.
But like, they're like flexing, like, oh, I got this Glock with the Stendo mag, and like, literally, like, just shooting in the air, like with like fully automatic, like. Like modified switches on their Glocks and just doing that and just doing dumb stuff.
Yep.
guys like posting like, oh, I'm a real hitter, I'm a real killer, like, you know, and posting like the most atrocious guns, to be honest.
Yeah.
And it's just like, what are you doing?
No, I agree with you.
And like you're putting a target on your back with that.
a bad one.
Yeah. And it's like, I have like, you know, two things. Like I have 2 Instagrams. Like I have my public gold member one.
Right.
And I have another one that I am not putting out there because that's like really, really like, honestly, I barely use that one. And it's really just me and like my old military friends that are on there.
Okay.
But it's like when I post like stuff that I do with them, and then we'll have like there's like our like 18 guns, like, you know, like in a photo, but it's just like a group photo thing.
Right.
But I'm not gonna post it on my story on my Instagram. Somebody's gonna think I'm a maniac. But really, it's just being a bunch of my friends just out having a good time. You know, we meet like once a year, and then we meet up. But it's just like if I post that, like they're like most people are like, dude, this guy's crazy. It's a lot of guns.
I mean, even that, I don't think I got a problem with, because even when I see like you post, you know, I'm just gonna stay in your stories because we're talking about you right now, right? You post pretty responsibly, right?
Yeah.
You post at the range. You post in a safe environment.
Yep. I'm not pointing it at people.
Right, 100%.
I'm not threatening anybody.
Right.
If anything, I'm making fun of myself most of the time. Like I look like a dork right now.
You're not standing in the bathroom with the shower behind you with the shit to your head like this. You know what I mean? You don't got the slime slat. You know.
Yep.
You're not doing any of that stuff. No, but like, that's out there, and so, you know, I err the side of caution, and so again. Ain't nothing wrong with any of this stuff, right? But I'm just trying to say is that like when somebody watching you and you do these things, you're just helping them build a profile. So what profile is it building on you when you in Theobon all the time racing, and then you supposedly all the time you know every morning you got the selfie pic, you know, good morning, you got the new hammer in the fucking photo, right? What do you like? You know what I mean? So you got to be careful, and then you know, I think people don't think deep, and what I mean by that is that like cool, you know the thing about social media, bro, and I think we covered this once, or we talk about it offline, but like, it just makes our world smaller. Like how we all connect, right?
Yep.
So if I go and be that person right now, right, and you doing this show, both of you guys doing the show with me, right, and we got this audience, and I go start doing this kind of stuff and, you know, behaving that type of way where all of a sudden, all right, cool, I'm just got all these kind of different weapons on me all the time, and I'm showing them in a I don't know, bad light. It's going to represent, it is going to fall on you guys somehow. And more importantly, it's going to fall on my family somehow. If a lot of people are very fucking proactive with showing who their family is. They love to post their kids. They love to post a significant other. You know, all what you do and what you post and what you put out there, bro, does ultimately fall on them too.
Oh, yeah.
You have a responsibility is what I'm saying. You know, so like, I don't know, that's my kind of message with that stuff. So I do agree with you a little bit. You know, social responsibility is a big thing. You know, you can have fun, but just be prepared. I mean, I guess be prepared for the consequences.
Oh, yeah,
you know
of
what
course.
I
I
mean,
mean, every action has a reaction. So it's like, there's no such thing as making a choice without some type of repercussion coming to it.
That's right. Yeah, so I like to just stay on the side of air, you know, on the side of caution with those things, man. I like more privacy, more fucking curtains and layers before you kind of get to the things that are important to me. You know, I think those, and that's kind of the charm. That's what's, you know, it's that kind of stuff's reserved for like friends and your circle. You know, not public information.
Oh yeah. It's like, I mean, like, you know, going back to the whole shooting thing with socials, it's like people will ask me all the time, like, hey, can you take me out, you know, shooting this and that?
Right.
And like, they'll never post about it. And like, I know publicly they're kind of like, they would say like, oh, like, yeah, like I'm not really too much into guns. And then they go shooting with me, or I introduce them to it, and like I teach them, and they get really into it. But then they become like closet like gun people, and it's just like, okay, I can see why.
Right.
Because it's like you're surrounded, like, you know, their communities may be different. They may not see firearms in that kind of light.
Right.
And it's like, but now they understand it. So,
Yeah.
but now they also have to kind of keep it under wraps.
See, that's interesting. Like, I think all that shit's probably cool as long as you're educating your audience.
I mean, just like anything, like cars are dangerous as hell.
Yeah.
You know, like if you handle anything responsibly, and like this is another topic, like everything is just a tool. It's the people behind it that
No doubt.
determine what that tool will do.
No doubt. I'm like stuck on the messaging. You know what I mean? I don't want my brand to be about that. That's even why like I don't really get it. I don't have a lot of boogie content. Like I don't have anything that even suggests that like I do those kind of things. You know what I mean? And it's just because maybe little whoever is looking at my page be like, yo, that's sick. And he's like, 6 months from getting his driver's license. I don't want to project that content. Like, I'm just like, for me, it's that social responsibility because I want people to look at the brand that I'm creating, the partners I'm working with, be like, yo, that's all right, okay, cool. You can move like that. You can still be like that and move like that without having to sacrifice. You know what I mean? And so,
and that's the thing, like with my page personally, and I've been like struggling with trying to figure out how to present myself. And that's kind of why like I posted that whole thing with me and the sniper rifle and the stuff, because I have some OG followers and like, my OG friends on that page who noticed I stopped posting that entirely.
right.
And so I kind of want to interject it back, like, hey, I didn't really lose myself.
Yeah.
Like I'm still here, I still do this stuff. I'm just not sharing it as much as I used to.
Right.
But you'll still see it around, like it's still a part of me.
Right.
And it was kind of like a symbol of being on top of like a Supra with all that stuff. And it's just like, and then like, me cutting my facial hair. Like it's been 7 years since I've done this.
Oh, shit.
So like me doing this is like kind of me going back to like all that stuff. Like,
Why'd you do that? That's crazy, bro.
Honestly, like
everybody was like, who is that?
yeah. People had to look at my tattoos to like realize who I was.
Even then they thought it was photoshopped.
Honestly, I just wanted to change it up, and it's more of like, to me, there's a discipline about like, and it's a very military thing. There's a discipline about cutting your facial hair. It's like, it's different for everybody. Like, maintaining a certain shape, this and that. But I'm Asian, so my shit grows super patchy and super weird. So it looks messy no matter what I do. Even though I was like blessed to have like a full beard on the side as an Asian, which not many of us get to do.
I was about to say, yeah, you had a full beard, bro.
But like, so like
you cut that shit.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, it'll grow back. If I give it like a month, it comes back. I actually grow facial hair pretty fast, but the whole act of shaving and like spending every morning, like, and when I shave, I don't just use like a razor or anything like that.
With blade.
I actually use like single blade, like actual single blade shavette. And like, I mix the shaving cream and all that stuff, and I do all that, and it gets me in this routine in the morning that I'm preparing myself and my appearance and kind of just like getting myself ready for the day. Like, that's my thing, because when you shave, especially with a shavette, you can't be rushing that shit.
Hell no, otherwise around the jugular, come on.
Otherwise, I'd be cutting my neck and stuff like that. But like, it makes me focus in the morning, and it gets me prepared for the rest of the day.
That's cool.
So that's kind of like one of the reasons, That was one of the big ones.
I respect that.
Because like before, it's just like, okay, get ready for the day. Like, I had the beard and everything. It was just like, all right, quick shower, this and that, get my clothes on, jam, I'm good.
No, you get away with it. You get away with it.
Yeah, but now it's like, man, like, because my facial hair grows stupid fast.
Right.
So I'll get like really nasty, like stubble.
I hate that shit.
And it's just like, all right,
shit hurts.
I gotta like really like trim it up and make it clean. So every morning I shave.
I got like a little skin regimen thing. Yeah, I got to keep this shit young, bro. I'm getting old. But yeah, I feel you. I'm very programmed by, I build habits.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So like I can build bad habits just as fast as I can build good habits. You know what I mean? So that's why like I have like kind of an addictive personality to things. So like having habits like that, like a strict program, that's why I get up at 5:30 in the morning every day at the latest, because then I'm like, all right, I know what I'm doing by 6:30, I know what I'm doing by 7:30, and by 9 a.m. I'm already locked and loaded, I'm working, right? And I know what time I'm clocking out, and I know what I'm doing after that, I know what time I'm going to bed. It's kind of like military shit. My dad was like on my family, I got a military family, but so I understand you on that. It keeps me grounded.
Yeah.
Keeps
I mean,
me
it's just like it.
It's the act of.
Yep. It's the act of doing it and disciplining yourself to get it done, and to get it done right, most importantly.
When we hop off camera, I'll show you my phone. Like, you're gonna laugh at my my private calendar, because it's got my whole day. Like, because I got OCD, ADHD, ADD, all that shit. So you'll see like my calendar. Like the second my alarm goes off, it's like all there. Like my food's there, my fucking
honestly,
meals are
that's
there.
probably something that I need to do.
My work is
like
there,
my
like email.
I'm everywhere. Like I'm like undiagnosed, like ADHD, autistic, like whatever.
I'm dead at. I'll show you, bro. It helps me because I'll be like, all right, That's why I wake up so early, because the way my mind works, it's easier for me to fucking get all that kind of stuff done on the fucking tops, on the front half of the day. So my back end of my day isn't as heavy, and I could just try to fly off the wire. And then by then, I'm 2 cups of caffeine in, right? So like, I'm like, let me do this, but I'm like, let me do that, and let me do this, right? So having like dedicated things, be like, all right, at this hour or at this 30-minute window, I'm gonna just answer emails or some shit. right? And then after that, knowing I still didn't zero out my inbox, it's all good. I'm gonna move on to this. Just because, I don't know about you, but for me, like I feel like sometimes I gotta do it, and I gotta do it all the way to 100%. You know, but I'm trying to do like 7 or 8 things to 100%.
Well, I mean, like, dude, when I was cleaning around here in the shop, like, I was like, I'll start on this today, and I'll do this the next day and the next day. And then when I started on it, it's like, next thing you know, I'm here until 3 in the morning. And then, like, but I got it done.
No, you did. You did. There's ways to do it.
Yep.
I just professionally, even it's helped me in my career, is just understanding that, like, you just kick the ball on everything a little bit.
Yep.
That's it. You know, move everything a little bit rather than trying to lift it all.
Yep.
Yo, do we care that TikTok has got an extension? Do we care?
You know, personally, I am indifferent about it. I honestly think it was a good thing that, like, it did go away for a bit, because, like, the amount of, like kids call it, like, doom scrolling.
Right.
Or, like, they'll just get stuck on it for hours and hours and
Dude,
hours.
adults too.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Don't forget
I get stuck on that shit too. Like, I'm not gonna lie. And, like, I'm
Old
practicing
adults.
more of that, where it's, like, figuring out how do I be more active on social media without me actually being too engaged in it myself.
That's.
You know, and that's like the TikTok thing.
I think it's a double-edged sword.
It is a very big double-edged sword. So, like, that's the whole TikTok thing. Like, did I really care when it got banned? Honestly, not really.
Did you use TikTok?
I used TikTok for a bit, but I actually like Instagram better in terms of, like, community building.
What did you use TikTok for?
I use TikTok to make the same content on Instagram, and I would post both on both ends.
Okay, I know some people use it a little differently sometimes. Okay, I never used it. I mean, I created an account once, but I'm not gonna lie, dude. My shit had like fucking weird content in it.
Dude, it pulls up some weird stuff sometimes.
Like weird.
Yep.
Not stuff, not safe to talk about on cam type weird.
Oh, man.
So I was like, yeah, I'm out. And
Yep.
So when they said they was getting rid of it, I was like, cool. Then they got rid of CapCut, and I was like, whoa.
CapCut, no, I actually use that.
Yeah.
It helps, all right? I'm not a major video editor. That stuff helps a lot for me. I need CapCut.
yeah.
I'm sorry, but I'll keep TikTok around if CapCut is there. It's a necessary evil.
I like it for when, like, I got to make a quick move and stuff, or when I can't collaborate with somebody who actually does it a lot better. But yeah, I was a little like, that's when I started to pay some attention when they started to fucking fire on CapCut. I was like, what's up with that? So yeah, I'm with you, bro. I don't really care about TikTok. But I know that there are some homies, folks that I know that work for TikTok. So I mean, you know, I hope they get to keep their jobs and
yeah,
stuff.
of course,
I don't wish
you know.
that. But yeah, fuck TikTok.
Yep.
I had heard this conversation, and I thought it was kind of fucking interesting, funny too. Speaking of like contacts in your phone, right? Like, what if, like, I want to make sure I don't butcher this and I get this thing right? Hold on now, like, okay, okay.
Now I'm kind of nervous what the question is.
No, it's funny because I had heard this and I wanted to ask you. So, like, what emojis do you think are acceptable for your homies, like only your guy friends, to have next to your name? So when they're scrolling, they got to find you to send you a text or to make a phone call, and you're overlooking the shoulder, and you see your contact. Oh, that's cool, and then you see an emoji. What's an acceptable emoji?
Honestly, if you got any emoji, as long as it's not a fucking, like, eggplant. Like the peach emoji. Like, I'll take anything else. I don't give a fuck about hard eyes, this and that, like, whatever. Like, you fucking around, but you got a peach emoji or an eggplant next to that stuff, for me, it's just like, what is you on?
Fuck, which is crazier of the two, though, the peach or the eggplant?
Probably the peach. Checking out my ass all the time.
Peach is crazy.
I mean, like, I always fuck around with my homies and, like, you know, like, especially when we send each other Venmos, and, like, I'll do the hand, eggplant, and then the squirt emoji.
Oh man, that's terrible.
I mean, like, I fuck around with my homies all the time.
Yeah.
But it's just like, I don't know. The peach emoji just gets it too much for me. Where it's like, if you put a peach next to my name on your contact list, like,
That
I'm
shit's
gonna
pause
question,
worthy. Yeah.
like, pause. Like, yeah,
Absolutely.
Like, dude, are you checking out my ass? Like, what's going on?
There are some crazy ones, you know. Now that I'm like trying to think. Yeah, I think the peach one, I wasn't expecting the peach one. You know, I was thinking of I was thinking of a couple of different vegetables.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, the peach one's crazy. Yeah, I definitely would. I'd have some questions for the homie. I'd be like, yo.
Yeah. No, I think it's funny you bring this up. The most hilarious one I've seen, my good friend Duncan, for whatever reason, one of his homies on his phone, I was like, hey, can I borrow your phone to call mine real quick? I lost my phone, right?
Right.
He was like, yeah, sure. And I'm like scrolling, and then it's Timothy, and then corn emoji, black orange. I'm just like, why the fuck is that there? And you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
That's
why is that
crazy.
there? And then he was just like, oh, it's just this funny thing we have. Like, no, that ain't funny. Like, is this your homie or is he like, I mean, if he works in the industry, like, I'm not, no hate.
Right.
But like, if this is just your homie and you got this logos next to it, I don't understand why.
Dude.
That one's a wild one for
I
me.
kind of don't like being handed other people's phones for that particular reason.
Yeah.
I don't want to like, you know when someone says, hey, just look, check this out, and just keep swiping
Yeah.
to look like photos or something
Yep.
in their photo folder. And then you keep swiping, and then you see some crazy shit, like you swipe too far. I don't like that.
Your
I
homie
don't
shows
like
you your
that.
car, like this guy you just meet. Oh man, check out these
Don't.
photos of my Z. Swipe, swipe, swipe. Jeffrey Dahmer photo. Swipe. It's just like,
Yeah, or
I'm an accessory.
man, or some crazy shit, you know, like your selfie photo or you doing in the morning. Yeah, I don't
Yep.
know. Do not hand me your phones, people.
Yep.
I don't want your phone. Oh man. Yeah, dude. Those are some crazy emojis. Those are some crazy emojis. What would be one that you would be a little offended if you saw the lady that you was talking to, and she had you saved under like a crazy emoji? Or what would be something that would offend you?
I'm trying to think, because it's like it really depends. Like, if I wasn't talking to her seriously and it's side piece, then I don't really care. Because like I have some homegirls that are like, they've like showed like, oh, he texted me again, and then it's like I'll see it, it'll just say like side piece or like side dude, and I'm just like, it just makes me laugh. I'm like, I wonder how many I wonder if I had a girl who put me as a side piece in her phone. Like that's what I started thinking to myself that.
I think ladies do that. I mean,
Yeah.
we won't have to get a guest on here to confirm that, but I think they do that.
Oh yeah.
I think they do that. I know this one girl that had had a foot emoji next to my name. And it was my skin tone. You know what that foot emoji looks like?
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy. I wasn't really sure how to
just here
feel
like,
about
what?
that. Yeah, like what?
Cue the Russell Westbrook gif where he just goes, what?
Yeah, like of all there's a lot of different body parts you could have picked too.
Yeah.
The foot,
Yeah.
come on. I had this other thing that I thought was kind of interesting. This is good. I actually like this because I thought about it as I wrote it. Now, okay. If you woke up one morning and you had to choose just one option, you could keep your memories of the past, but then forget everything moving forward. Or you could forget your entire past, but you get to remember everything thereafter that happens forward.
So keep the memories from the past, but I forget everything moving forward. So does that mean that like the memories that I'll make going forward, I'll keep forgetting those?
100%.
Which point in my life from my past, like today, like right now, are we just gonna talk right now at this very
Sure,
moment?
let's call it now.
I would actually forget my memories from my past and keep the ones moving forward, because those memories that you make moving forward will be the new past.
Interesting.
Do you get what I'm saying?
I do.
It's like,
I do.
the past has already happened. It's the past. I can't change anything about it. I can't relive the past,
Right.
but I could always make new memories going forward. And
That's
those
very
new
true.
memories eventually will become past memories that you can look back on.
Now, I was thinking the same way. Now, let me throw you the curveball I threw myself. Do you think, because then I got into a crazy thing when I really thought about it, because it's really breaking it. The question is interesting because it really is breaking it down to, do you go with who you were, right? And what made you who you are, or do you continue on with like this person that you are, and then you pay forward with that, right? And so what I kind of am asking you is that if you shift and you cut the memories of your past. Do you think that it's important though to hold on to those? Because do you think your past makes you who you are? And do you think, like, negating that or cutting that, do you think would you lose yourself going forward? Because that's important to me.
Yeah, I mean, in a sense, yes. Of course, your past has a huge impact on who you are as a person, like, and it definitely shapes you going forward. But it's one of those things where, like, innately, I feel like everybody kind of, you know, like you're kind of a certain way from birth, and that you kind of follow this path, and like you could call it like fate, destiny, whatever. But you follow this path and you keep going forward, and no matter what circumstances on your way, running your way, the resolve of your character, like the strength of like, you know, like the strength of your resolve is what's going to keep you straight on that way
Right.
to who you are and what you're, not what you're meant to be, but who you actually are. And it's like, that's why I love the movie like Thor Ragnarok and like, or like just Thor in general, like that whole like thing, because he goes from his whole life, like in the story of Thor, he's somebody that he's supposed to be.
Right.
He's supposed to be this god of thunder. He's supposed to be like the savior and everything like that.
Right.
But he fails at doing all that stuff.
Right.
And there's that super emotional scene with his mom where she goes, everybody fails in who they're supposed to be. But a true measure of a person is when they truly succeed at becoming who they are.
That's what I'm saying, though.
Yeah.
But see, like, I think, but then doesn't that mean, see, that to me means, because I'm not, when I look at, like, the memories of the past, I look at, like, especially because, like, this is when I started to shift my answer, and I think I would keep my memories of the past and forget everything moving forward, but be able to hold on to all my shit from the past, from, like, today back, because I would love to remember myself in those moments where I was on fucking two knees, you know, like life fucking was punishing me, and I persevered, right? I don't think I want to forget that and have to like relive that. I want to carry that with me. And I had a lot of those moments, you know, and I'm sure you did too. So I think those moments are important to me, and I think that
they're super important. When you put it that way, then yeah, it makes more sense.
I'm not trying to shift your answer.
Oh, no. Like, it's not more of shifting my answer, but it's like, it makes a lot of sense, like in that, like, you know, choosing that way, because it is like, you know, a part of your character development as a person.
I just think when we get beat up, you know, like you learn, and it changes, because you could stop. That's where your life stops. You're like, that's it. I give up. I'm just gonna do this fucking thing, whatever, forever, and that's it. But your story didn't stop because you persevered. You pushed through it. I don't know, man. That shit really fucked me up. I was thinking about it for a while.
It's definitely a tough one. You could go either way.
Right, because then you've all these fantastic things in front of you now, right? Because you have killed yourself to get to this stage in your life. Yeah, you know, like, I don't know if I want to forget everything after this either, though, right? And the people you meet and the shit that happens, but that's why I was thinking about it. I was like, I don't think I could forget that, though, because like when I weigh it, man, like, yeah, dude. When you find that, at least for me, when you find that dog in you, that dog, you know, that's ready to fight, that can fight, there's nothing you can't do.
Yep.
There's nothing you can't do. I'm gonna ask you off camera too, Nick.
The Malcolm in the Middle star.
Frankie Muniz?
Yeah.
Oh, he's racing.
Yeah. He underwent, something happened, like he got a concussion, and he forgot all of the filming of that show.
Yeah.
No way.
That's why, so Frankie is really weird about being asked about Malcolm in the Middle.
Right.
Because he went through some accident, or that's what was reported, that he got some like, you know, some like brain damage, and he actually forgot a lot about like the show.
Dang.
So like when people like try to come up to him at the racetrack, because like we've seen him a few times, and they're like, Frankie. He's like,
Right.
oh, you know.
It's gotta be scary.
Yeah.
Damn, I didn't know that. That's trippy.
Yeah, because Frankie Muniz raced Mustang Challenge last year.
Yeah, he's doing well from what I'm seeing.
Yeah, I mean he's full on, like immersed himself in motorsports and mainly NASCAR, and he's with like Ford Performance and stuff like that.
Damn. Yeah, see, just even further cements my decision. I think remembering where you come from, where like you personally, not like all that other stuff, but where you come from, right? I think, me personally, I think it's important.
Oh yeah.
I think it's important, those calluses on your, on the back of your hands and shit, scars. Show you've been putting in some work on yourself, I think I'm happy to cap it there. Like, I don't think we need to dig any further onto that.
Yeah,
that was a crazy question.
That is a loaded question.
Yeah.
I don't think there's really a wrong answer for that question, to be honest. It's just different perspectives. And
Totally.
different answers,
Some people may never fucking want to revisit that shit.
Yeah. Some people want to be stuck right in the middle.
That's true.
People who don't want to move forward, but people who don't want to move back.
That's a scary place to be.
Yeah, but there are some people who do get stuck in that situation, like that limbo situation.
Yeah, man. And I feel for them though. Like me, honestly, I can't be around that. It's like it's an energy drain for me.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? And I try to be sincere and nice about it, but like, this is like, it might be too deep of a conversation for this pod, but like, I believe that kind of stuff is like, you got to avoid those kind of things because they're not meant for you, like to be around those types of circles. And because those people, man, they may be stuck there on their own accord and they don't want to move. They may not want to move. Here's where we could probably end the pod today. And we're gonna have to sit on this probably for a few minutes, pause. But you saw that I got the Tacoma, right? Y'all saw that shit. And like, I think I was rambling on episode 4 with Steve about like, needing something. No, but everybody knows I wasn't going to quit the car game or get rid of the MK5,
Yeah.
So stop with that. But I needed something different. I needed a battery in my back, So I was talking to the brother Sean over at Temecula, Toyota, and I had this weird thing calling to me that I should go get this Tacoma, right? And I was in a rut, is what what I'm really trying to say. Like, so these people are like in a rut, so they don't move forward. I was in a rut. But I started thinking about what would pull me out of a rut. And I'm seeing these things. I'm seeing all this stuff going on. I'm seeing this community in the overland community. I'm like, that shit's cool. All these guys are already engaging in my profile, showing me a lot of love. These guys are mad dope. And I'm like, it's in my face, right? The clear answer. And so I'm like I'm in San Juan Capistrano a few weeks ago for business. And this is when all these feelings are going up. And Temecula is just like a 60-mile stretch from there, maybe 50, right? It's right there. And so I randomly shoot Sean a text. I'm like, yo, you got the spec, right? In the Tacoma, like, I'm particular. Like when I wanted the Supra, it took me almost 3 months to land the one that I wanted. And I was working with a broker to help me find it. And so this time I literally just shot a text. Sean hits me back. They got it. I'm like, what? And then anyways, long story longer, I shoot him my info. He runs the shit. He's like, truck is yours. Come get it. I'm like, bet, right? I'm like in this weird cathartic vibe, you know what I mean? I'm like, cool. Like, I want to get out of this weird feeling I'm in. I feel excited about this truck. Never really had a truck before. Never really been into overland shit.
Yep.
And then I jump into this Uber to go get it. I was from San Juan to Temecula, and I swear I'm getting to my point. And I jump in this Uber, bro, and I shit you not, it's like this. I won't forget his name. His name's Timothy. Mad old, right? I don't remember any. I'm bad with names, right? Timothy. And we don't say anything the first 5 minutes. And then he says something to me, and I kind of forget what he said, but he was doing a vibe check. He's like, that's a good answer. That's kind of the vibe I was looking for. I was like, that's odd. I was like, why you say that? No, I'm intrigued with the old man. And he's like, most of the time I throw that out there to my passengers. They don't respond the right way, so we quiet the rest of the trip. And it wasn't like he was throwing something to me to have a fucking conversation. I wish I could remember what he said to me. But it was something in the ballpark of kind of weird. Like a normal rider would have been like, what? And then he asked me what I was doing. I didn't give him a whole lot. And I fucking feel like I was on a tarot card Uber ride, right?
Yeah.
And this guy really gets into, like, we start talking about, different things. And I like energy. So when I speak about, energy, I mean for real things that draw you to people and that are like unexplainable. That unexplained thing, it's energy. And so he's telling me a lot of stuff that's vibing with me. And so my point to take this whole story to why that was dope and why I'm excited with this Tacoma and those people that stay stagnant is, this man had told me that, like, regardless of what you believe in and stuff like that, but what he was telling me was, he's like, oh, because I told him what I'm doing in Uber, I'm going to go get this truck. I told him why I'm going to get this truck, because I was on the show and I had this whole thing, I was talking about bros, now I want to go get a different experience. He's like, you've been around for a while. I was like, yeah, I'm 42. He's like, no, you've been around for a while. Like my soul, you know what I mean? He's like, so you've seen some things, you're around and been spending time on earth, right? And going to go peep different experiences and grab these things. And so I share all this to anybody that may be in that middle spot floating. You need to snap out of it.
Yep.
You need to snap out of it, and you need to listen to whatever it is that's in your chest that's calling to you, and just go try it. Because you don't know what's on the other end of that, right? And that's why I'm so excited for this truck, because I feel like, man, energy does not lie.
Yep.
That thing happened with that old man, Timothy. I got the truck, drove it home. I mean, the fact that I got the truck, all this other stuff, man, it's here. And I literally manifested it, a month ago. So, yeah, don't be that guy who's in the middle.
Yep.
Don't be that guy that's in the middle.
It's crazy because, like, it's kind of the same way I'm with this car, with the whole GT4 thing going on. Like, honestly, I was kind of at a spot with the car where I was kind of bored of it. I didn't know what I wanted to do. Was I going to sell it? Was I going to do this and that?
Yeah.
And it's kind of a good thing that the accident did happen, even though it's all torn up right now. But that gave me the opportunity to do the whole GT4 build when I found the kit, and I was able to fully put it. Now I'm going to get to the part where I'm fully putting it together.
Right.
It's just like I'm finally going to be able to do something that, number one, nobody else is going to be able to do. Number two, it's something that is completely me. Like,
Yep.
I've always wanted to build a race car for the streets. Like, a legitimate race car that I could drive on the streets. And
You're doing that.
that's, like, with all OEM parts and this and that. Like, that's what I want to do. And the fact that I'm doing it now, it makes me reignite. Like, I never fell out of love with the Supra, but I started driving the Integra more because there was new things I could always do with it.
Right.
This car, I kind of felt like I kind of capped out on certain things.
I feel that.
And then now, like, getting into the GT4 kit, this is completely new territory. Well, not really new territory for me because I've worked around them, but it's more of new territory to show what I can do. And, like, because it's not just the kit. Like, I'm redoing all the suspension, redoing the brakes, redoing the whole engine. Like, everything's getting touched. Like, it's not just going to be me slapping on a kit and it's like, I'm done. Like,
Right.
No, we're going a little bit further than that.
For sure. So, and again, I hope whoever listening is feeling stuck, they're listening to you say that is because you didn't take a knee on that, right? Like, damn. And what a way to snap back. And now you have, like, this entire new journey in front of you, bro. Like, and we don't have to discuss any of the stuff that you talked about off cam, but from the sounds of it, it's already hot.
Yeah, it's so this
Which
year's
is cool.
By the end of this year, so a lot like this. That's the goal, to finish the car by the end of the year, and
Excuse me.
it's gonna be quite a journey with it. A lot of stuff's gonna be happening, so I'm really excited for that. I haven't been this excited for it in a while since I first got the car.
I feel that for you. I'm happy. I'm happy for you, bro. I feel that. I know. I hear you talk about it a lot.
Yep.
Yeah. Now you got to go chase that shit, Sam. You got to go chase that shit.
I'm ready to see what you could do with a truck, man.
I'm not gonna say a whole lot. I will say shout out to Daniel Song. Thank you so much, brother. I may have a few surprises on the way soon. I thought I was gonna keep it stock a little longer, but
That's never gonna happen.
to be determined. But if you're looking to hook your boy up, hit me. No, I'm kidding, but I'm looking for dope partners if they down. Shit, fellas, that was a good pod. I think we should.
Yep.
I'm a big fan of leaving things on a high note. And I
Rest
think
in
that
peace,
was a high
Val Kilmer.
note. Yes, R.I.P. Man, I think I'm gonna go watch some Heat today. Maybe
Yep.
even do the rerun. I mean, God, where do you start, bro?
I need to tell somebody that next time. Like, you retired? Not me. I'm in my prime. I love that line. That's my favorite Val line. Every time I think, am I tired? Nope, I'm in my prime.
I appreciate you, brother.
Yep.
It's always a
Good
pleasure.
talks
my
as
man.
always.
Nick, my man. Peace, y'all.